Anunnaki workers some rest. These events are given in Genesis, but not well explained. The first 7 days of creation are a condensed version of what I have just told you. The first 5 days are when the sun, moon, water, etc. were created. These represent the Sumerian gods in exact order of generation and symbol. As an example, the first generation Sumerian goddess is called Tiamat, or as her other name, the deep water. The first creation is of the deep, and the separation of its waters. The sixth generation god was Marduk. He ordered creation of man to give the Anunnaki rest. The sixth day, Marduk, in Genesis, man was created. On the seventh day, God, Anunnaki, rested. It is the same, but told in a different way to confuse you and to keep you from the truth. You're familiar, I'm sure, with the story of a snake tempting mankind. The snake is a symbol found all over the world. Today, abductees see a symbol of an upside-down triangle and two snakes wrapped around each other inside the triangle. There is an ancient medical symbol that consists of two snakes wrapped around each other with a flying disc at the top. The Sumerian goddess who created the Adamu is shown with two snakes. The snake is in Genesis. What does this all mean? Get ready to have your eyes open for the first time. Remember what is going on now and back then. Genetic manipulation. The intertwined snakes are what primitive man saw on the uniforms of the Anunnaki, the same emblem abductees see today. It is the symbol of their genetic core. They are not snakes. It is the double helix of DNA. The genetic code. Thousands of years ago, man did not know about genetics and DNA. The helix symbol to them and to the abductees today look like snakes. The medical sign has the snakes and a winged disc. DNA and a flying disc. You can't get any plainer than this. The snake gave the power of knowledge to man. In biblical terms, to have knowledge of someone is to engage in reproduction. He knew his wife, and she bore a son. The snake gave man the power to reproduce. This was considered a sin by some. Had they left the Adamu unable to reproduce on their own, then by not making more, they could end their deeds. Instead, they modified the Adamu further, and the rest, as they say, is history. What happened after this will be told in the Way 3. Peace be with you all. And that is chapter 1 of the Way. So, chapter 2. Why am I here? I'm sure you've asked yourself that question. Well, I'll continue reading and see if this will give us some type of answer. Why am I here? What is the purpose of life? Is there a God, and does this God care for me? What happens when I die? Why is there so much pain in the world? How do I change the world into a better place? Are there no answers? Yes. There are answers to all these questions and all the others that will ever arise. The first step is to believe in your own capacity to find them. The second is to become as a child in spirit as well as mind. As children, the world is a place filled with wonder, each day bringing new knowledge and the anticipation of things yet learned. It is this same desire that you must place in your hearts. If you can accept these two truths, then you will have taken the first step in finding your own way. What is the way? The way is a path you choose to guide you back to where it all began, back to the One. The One is the source of all life in the universe. There are only two forces in the universe, creation and destruction. The universe and all matter in it goes from a high order to a low order. Life goes from a low order to a high order. The universe destroys, life creates. The one is this creation force at its highest level. The goal of all life is to create, and by the act of creating, become as one. You, as a life form, are part of all the life in the universe. You started out at the lowest rung of the ladder and have worked your way up. It is now time for you to realize and accept your own role in the plan of creation. You are capable of creating and are therefore a creator. You are not the one, but part of the one in all life. Your goal is to begin at the bottom, reach the top, and then return with that knowledge and experience back to the one. This process unfolds over the lifetime of a world and is both of a spiritual and physical nature. The life force that resides in a physical form is enlarged and matured over the course of many lifetimes, starting at the single cell level. A life form will progress upwardly through increasingly complex biological containers in a process of birth, death, and rebirth. It is the evolutionary process of all life, and all life is bound by this law of the one. Evolution is the creation of a more complex life form from less complex life forms. You will work your way up the ladder of life until you reach the point that your spiritual enlightenment is so great that there is no physical life form complex enough to contain you. It is at this point that you leave the restrictions of the physical